It's your first time playing. Your friend just went down. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds left until the drop pod leaves. You go and revive your friend. Both of you don't have a clue where to go. Your heart is pumping, your legs shaking. All of a sudden, you only have 30 seconds left. You spot the escape pod, you make it in time with 20 seconds left. But it looks like it's going to be a close nail biter for your friend though. You're starting to get more and more nervous as the seconds count down. Will he make it in time? I think he's done. There he is! But he ended up making it and you both let out a huge sigh. Then you get drunk with your buddies and it's a never-ending cycle. Man, this game is great and I'm going to tell you why. You're wasting your life not playing it. So sit back and relax. Let this video calm your nerves from your stressful 9 to 5 that keeps reducing your hours. Deep Rock Galactic is a horde first-person shooter game where you get sent to a planet called Hoxes? I think that's how you say it. But anyways, you get sent underneath its ground. Be careful. Some of these bugs aren't no regular bugs. They have observation hockey and can take you out before you can even get out the drop pod sometimes. You also fight in different environments, all whilst fighting enemies that look like something you will only see in the final floors of Made in Abyss. I am serious, like what even is this creature? And this isn't even the worst one. Someone care to explain this? What is this? This has to be a sleep paralysis demon. But anyways, before we get into anything else, I want to start with the classes, weapons, and gear modifications. All 4 of the classes have a primary, a secondary weapon, a traversal tool, which are just tools that can help you get around the map, a throwable, and 2 special tools. And of course, a pickaxe. I don't even know how I almost forgot about that. Not very rock and stone indeed. Now let's start with Scout. I am not going to lie, we are kind of retarded. How do I know? Well, it's my main. Scout has a traversal tool called the grappling hook. And let's just say this weapon is cursed. So much so you can just see the dark aura radiating from it. And oh my god, how many poor dwarven souls have fallen to its wrath. It fears so much this should actually be a devil in Chainsaw Man. There are so many memes about Scout upon the Deep Rock Galactic community, you would probably never reach the bottom even riding a Nimbus cloud. Now, the grappling hook is good for getting materials that are very high and doing it at a fast pace, but one quote that has single-handedly helped me with my gaming experience through all games is said by Joseph Joestar. Run for your life. And the grappling hook is very good for escaping those tough situations. Not everybody can be the main character and fight everything. Sometimes you have to realize you're just a background character. Maybe in this K Bleach's storyline. I mean, it sounds outlandish, but hear me out. Let me cook with this theory. You never know. Maybe this K Bleach was a regular human, but he got isekai'd into this game by Truck-kun. Hold on, I'm gonna keep cooking. And instead, an anomaly happened, messing with the physics, and Carl got reincarnated into our world. After years, your favorite YouTuber, Devoid, has finally solved it. Yes, this Big Bang Theory is going on a Deep Rock Galactic subreddit. But anyways, that filler arc is over with. Now let's move on to the Scout primary and secondary weapon. Your primary is an assault rifle called the Deep Core GK2, where you shoot energy shard bullets. To be fair, it's basic, but it's secondary, oh my goodness. Now, there's a debate what could break through Gojo's infinity. It would probably be this sawed-off shotgun. You would think the bullets is coated with nin the way it blows enemies away. Moving on to his second special weapon, the flare gun, which is really useful because some caves can get really dark. As a scout, you have the ability to light the cave up brighter than 100 times a Discord mod's brain. Have you ever wondered if the TF2 engineer and the TF2 demo man combined and did a fusion dance, what would it create? Well, introducing the engineer of Deep Rock Galactic. You get basically a semi-auto sniper rifle shotgun. Yes, I said that right. Now, the engineer's secondary weapon, the grenade launcher, I am not gonna lie, it's really fun to use. Blowing things up and watching things just ragdoll all over the place will never get old. The engineer also has a very useful tool called the platform gun. Now, when I am playing this game, I realize no other classes have as much chemistry as a scout and engineer. Like the bromance these two have is just unfathomable. The platform gun allows you to put platforms down, which can help you get up to high areas you normally wouldn't be able to reach. This can be used so the scout can get the minerals that are up high. Otherwise, the scout would most likely fall to his death without the platform gun. I mean, the scout can do it and sometimes, but not all the time. The platform gun is also used for softening fall damage. But I don't think you guys can quite fathom how useful this thing is. When your house is burning down, this should be the first thing you grab, because the biggest enemy in this game isn't this magma bug that shoots explosive bombs at you and can even shake the ground, or even this huge bug that can blow up in a big radius and leave a huge crater. No, the biggest enemy in Deep Rock Galactic, damn, it's caused so much trauma, I can't even muster the words. Everybody, give me your energy. It's gravity. I can't tell you how many times I have fell victim to it. And apparently I share the same fate with 52 million other people. The engineer also has access to sentry guns. Now, if you think you can just build some sentry guns and have them do all the work for you while you are reading peak manga, you will be sadly mistaken, my friend. I mean, why would you when you could have access to a freaking mini nuke overclock? Let's be honest. People who use this weapon are probably the type of people who are able to smile in the most grueling scenes in Berserk. Why do you want to unleash so much chaos upon the land? But that's besides the point. Moving on to the most underrated class in the game, in my opinion, and that is the gunner. He uses a huge minigun that absolutely melts enemies. But be careful, this gun can overheat and get hotter than a Gojo fan when you tell them he can't beat Goku. But that's besides the point also. Please don't turn my comment section into a huge debate thread. I can already see someone in my comments saying, LOL, how can Goku beat Gojo if he can't touch him? Make it make sense. But anyways, the gunner also has a revolver as a secondary weapon. Yeah, I can't think of nothing funny to say. The gunner also has a pretty useful zipline tool that's good from transporting teammates from one location to another. I like to get onto it and pretend and shoot below like I am some sort of helicopter gunner or something. I'm pretty sure other people try to as well. I can't be the only one out there, am I? But in my opinion, the gunner has the best ability in the game. I want you to picture this. Imagine you got a bad grade. You explain to your dad the good old excuse, but everybody else got a bad grade on the test, even the smartest kid. But this only has a 5% chance of working. Your dad didn't get the belt, but before he uses it, you use the shield generator. When you put this down, nothing can touch you or your teammates. It's basically like Raid to the aliens. Now we are moving on to the final class, introducing the Driller, which in itself is a very, very, very convenient class to have on your team. The Driller has a flamethrower which has the most amazing crowd control I have ever seen. Now, thanks to the Driller's drill tool, he is my superhero because the caves in this game is super confusing. You will find yourself running circles upon circles. It will have you thinking you are under some type of genjutsu or something. But like nationwide, the Driller is always on your side to rescue you. Because trust me, as a new player, the map can be confusing and could give you a real headache. But once you get used to it, it becomes fairly easy to understand. But anyways, the Driller has a satchel charge. But to be honest, I hardly used it, or more so, I don't really know how to use it. I watch videos and it's useful for bunkies or whatever, but that's not really my playstyle. I'm more so of a run and gun player. Now this leads me to the next thing. We all know dogs are man's best friend. They're fluffy, they're cute, and sometimes they can be utterly terrifying to anyone except their owner. Well, in Deep Rock Galactic, there is one entity that matches that, and it's an alien you can tame called Steeve. And this destructive devil doesn't take answers from nobody except his manipulative owner. Now it's time I tell you guys about perks, classes, and sections, so listen up. In order to unlock perks, you need something called perk points, which you can get from completing milestones such as leveling each individual class 5 times and also completing missions a certain amount of times. There are useful perks like heightened sixes, which is very good for these very sneaky mosquito things. Seriously, these guys should be in the Ambu. Heightened senses allow you to break through his armored hockey grasp. There's plenty more perks, but that will take way too long, so let's get back to what I was going on to. Now that we reviewed the classes, it's kind of time to move on to the mission type. But before we get deep into that, when you're starting and doing any mission, make sure you stock up on this red rock called Nitro. It's essentially your lifeline. This can be used to call down supply drops. But wait, supply drops have a secret rule. Now, from what I've seen in the Deep Rock community, there is a set of ethical rules you must follow. When there are 4 people in the game, you only take 1 resupply. Taking 2 is selfish. Those who do deserve to be taken into Demiurge's happy farm. For my non-Overlord fans, it's somewhere you do not want to be. If you are a little curious and want to look it up, you have been warned to proceed with caution. But now, it's only okay if the other player who hasn't got a resupply says you can take my resupply. Now, when there is 3 people, that's a tough situation. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe have a baby bladder or something. Also, this next one is very important and serious. I need you to sit up for this one. If you don't comply with this rule, you deserve Shoe Tucker as a dad. Never, ever, ever, ever leave a door behind. Me and my brother will join Valhalla together. But in all seriousness, if it's looking highly unlikely they are not savable, just leave. We need someone to tell our stories. Do us a glory and dedicate a manga series to us or something. And always, 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 when you come across a chunk of gold, you must complete the secret ritual. You have to ping the gold with your fellow dwarfs, celebrating how rich you are. Those who did not complete this ritual, I have never seen or heard from them again. And the last and final sin I learned from being in the Deep Rock Galactic community, there is never, ever, ever a situation you should leave Doretta. Always carry her back onto the drop pod with you. Those who haven't, I heard stories that they were never heard from again also. All jokes aside, in my whole 19 years of living, I can say Deep Rock Galactic has the best community I have ever seen. Players will not hesitate to give any Greenbeard advice. But let me truly tell you what makes this community unrivaled. It's the ability to make friends. I made a few friends from just saying, do anybody mess with anime? And we had a cool time shooting aliens whilst naming our top 3 anime. Mine is One Piece, Bleach, and Jabba's Reincarnation. Comment yours in the comments. I'm trying to see something. P.S. If you like anime, you're already my friend. My editing style with anime will never change. So if you aren't bothered by it, you should probably subscribe. Not like you have a choice or anything. Now that I went over like the ethical code of conduct, we can now branch into the mission types. But first, to unlock some of these mission types, you have to complete assignments. What are assignments, you asked? Assignments are short quests consisting of a series of missions. You can access it from the assignment board in a space rig. I wouldn't dare ignore them. I mean, who wouldn't want to fire a guided rocket system from their arms or a radiation gun that makes bugs explode? Now we are entering mission types finally. Mining expeditions require you to look for certain materials such as a set amount of morkite whilst being accompanied by Molly, your traveling deposit mule. These missions can be easy, but sometimes you can find yourself missing a couple of morkite and being confused on where to go. Some expeditions can take an hour long. Missions also have secondary objectives. Sometimes you have to collect a certain amount of alien fossils or 10 fester fleas, or maybe even collecting 12 sack. You know what, I'm not trying to get demonetized, but you know what I mean. There is no way they designed this thing without laughing. I refuse to believe it. I pray a dev watches this and validate whether this is true or not. Next is egg hunt missions, where you find alien eggs and extract them. But be careful, once you extract it, a swarm of aliens are ready to retaliate about the egg. You're also accompanied by Molly as well. Next is salvage operation, where you have to find and repair mini mules and a broken drop pod, all whilst being swarmed by waves upon waves of aliens. It can get chaotic at times as well. Escort duty missions, and where you have to drill and escort a drill dozer until it reaches a heartstone. But during this operation, you will be attacked by swarms of aliens whilst protecting the dozer from aliens and having to refuel the drill dozer. And just like other missions I listed, Molly is accompanying you. Now, elimination is when things get kind of serious. This is a mission where you have to fight many bosses, specifically dreadnoughts. They will be in Cancun type things, and you have to shoot them to commence the battle. Now listen here and closely, class. There are 4 variants that have a chance of coming out of that Cancun. The Glyph-Hild Dreadnought, in my opinion, is the worst one to face. I don't know, he just got this dark aura around him. Next is a Dreadnought Hive Guard, which I think is the easiest variant to face. He is immune to damage until you defeat its minions. But let me say this, he can also be the most annoying boss to fight. Sometimes his minions glitch and you have no idea where they have spawned. For all I know, they could be in Australia. I mean, Australians wouldn't be phased. They seen bugs probably crazier than that. Last is the twins, Laciator and Arbalist, which are easy, but only if you have a coordinated team. Let's first start with the Laciator, which is very, very aggressive. He spawned in with negative nin. He specializes in melee attacks, and trust and believe he will chase you like you have the last Beyonce ticket or something. He also has a barrel ability where he can traverse across the map. Rumors tell if you play the Velma theme song, he will never come back above ground. The other twin is the Arbalist, and he is more of a laid back and range fighter. He also has the ability to go underground. Next is the on-site refining missions, and this time your little mule isn't with you. Instead, there's like a factory platform, and in these missions you have to connect the pipelines to pump jacks to refine liquid morkite. But it can be easy, sometimes not though, because you have to become a top tier architect sometimes. There was one instance where the pump jack spawned very weirdly. Luckily, we had a driller on our team, and that driller was me. We died lots of time constructing this thing, but once you got the pipelines connected, you have to fight hordes of enemies all whilst repairing the pipelines at the same time. The last mission is point extraction, and the goal is to explore the large cavern and collect these blue gems called Akura that are hidden within the walls. At first I was confused because I did not know that there were signs for this stuff to look for, but you will see like blue flecks of crystals. That's how you know it's there. Your trusty mule isn't here with you this time either. There's a mining platform instead that you deposit into. Now I think it's important that I go over hazard levels, / warnings, and anomalies. In missions there is 5 hazard levels, and for each rise in hazard grants you bonus towards XP and credits. Hazard 1 is labeled as low risk for those who want to be engineer and read manga while your turrets go to work. You can most likely do this. Hazard 2 says it's challenging, but not really. Maybe to new players, but once you have maybe 3 hours of game knowledge, it becomes pretty easy as well. Now Hazard 3 says it's dangerous, but I think the majority of the community resides here. It's like that sweet middle ground. The average Joe with average game mechanics could do this. Now Hazard 4 says it's extreme. To be honest, Hazard 4 isn't that much different from Hazard 3. It's not that big of a jump. So if you can do Hazard 3 consistently, you can do Hazard 4 consistently, but probably just at a lower rate, but still do it decently good. I beat it a couple times because I had to unlock Hazard 5, but with the great game sense and decent team, Hazard 4 can be done. Now we reach Hazard 5. This is somewhere the elite alpha dwarves go. But what makes Hazard 5 so hard? You have to give everything to win. Bugs move faster, attack faster, and oh my god, the wave of aliens literally do not stop. You better have calves like Tenya because you will be constantly running and gunning. Oh, you thought this madness stopped? Now what if I told you these missions can get even harder? Well, my friend, let me introduce you to something called warning. Now, if you see a mission and it has a red icon, or in some cases 2 icons, well, that means there is a particular danger. For example, there could be an influx of super annoying cave leeches. I don't want to tell you how many of my Dwarven comrades have fallen victim to their wrath. Sometimes you can even get the haunted cave warning and get slowly chased by a ghost bolt detonator that can not take damage and hits you pretty hard once you are in his radius. The worst one in my opinion is shield destruction. This is when your shield does not regenerate at all. Now there's also boosts that help the player, and they are called anomalies. You will know because they are yellow. You could get such anomalies like low gravity or rich atmosphere, which makes you faster, and also the aliens faster as well. Remember, a couple of minutes ago I said Hazard 5 was the hardest. Introducing deep dives, and technically Hazard 6. These are only accessible once you prestige your dwarf. Wait, how do you prestige your dwarf? I didn't tell you that, did I? To prestige your dwarf, you have to reach a level 25. And once you reach level 25, you have to do these promotional qualifications assignments to make sure you are alpha enough for the promotion. I mean, we can't just have anybody carrying Doretta. Once you completed them, you then head to the memorial hall. But wait, you absolutely must press V to pay respect to your fallen dwarfs. Don't worry, this isn't like Call of Duty where everything resets. You keep everything. The bonuses is well worth. You get the permanent ability to activate machine events with the, okay, I didn't talk about machine events too, huh? Well, machine events kind of spice the game up a little. Machine events are random, and the chance of them spawning depends on the mission length. Now, these events range from having to pickaxe stone bugs within a certain time limit to fighting a boss that shoots lasers and sends really annoying self-destruction drones at you. Once the event is done, you will see this box, and yes, when I first seen it, I was confused because I could not get nothing from it. But it turns out you need something called blank matrix cores to be able to receive the award from the event, which can be attained from deep dives and weekly assignments. But getting stuff from this box was very special to me because it gives you 3 choices: 1 random cosmetic item and 2 random overclocks, which we will get into overclocks later. But for my first choice, I chose the cosmetic. And I was blessed with one of the most drippiest beards. Look at it, but not too much because the R might blind you. Now, I want to get into the haunting stories of the elite deep dives. The regular one isn't that bad. I done seen dwarves go into elite deep dive with high spirits, but once they got back, their faces literally look like the Rangers from Attack on Titan when they just came back from going beyond the wall. Now, what are deep dives exactly? Well, there are essentially 3 missions in one, but there are some tweaks to be said, such as, unlike normal missions, the secondary objective is replaced with another primary objective. So don't worry, you don't have to collect those sack looking things. And both these primary objectives must be completed to move on to the next stage. All gear, ammo, HP, and mined gold and nitro will carry over from one mission to the next. Completing each mission of a deep dive will grant the player a random reward. For the first mission, you will get a blank matrix core. For the second, you will get a 1 random overclock. And for the third mission, you will get a 1 random cosmetic matrix core. Apparently, both the regular deep dive and the elite deep dive provide the same rewards. But I wouldn't know because the elite deep dive is a feat I have yet to conquer. I would do it with friends, but sadly, I don't have any friends. So if you guys from the comment section want to team up, add me on Steam. My username is right here. That's if this subpart video get any views. Now, let's circle back to Overclocks, which I said I was going to reiterate on further. When I was new to the game, I heard someone talk about Overclocks. I had no clue what they were. I asked him what they were, and he said, "Oh, my dwarven friend, they are everything. Want to turn your grenade launcher into a literal nuke? Fat boy Overclock. Want to become a goddamn war crime machine? Overclocks. They are magnificent." Those words that man spoke on January 26th at 5 o'clock, 2 minutes and 43 seconds p.m. were true. Once equipped, it was such an amazing power coursing through my veins. You mortals will never truly understand. The world shall know true pain. Who needs a squad in an elite deep dive? With this, I can just solo it. Oh, damn. I thought I was the main character, didn't I? My bad, I had a little too much fun recording that. But now this moves me on to the oh so dreadful solo experience. Now this depends on the person. Me personally, I can do it, but then again, not really. You're accompanied by a robot called Bosco. And to be honest, he is a really smart robot. He can mine things for you. Bosco also has the ability to revive you. So if you ever become victim to gravity, he's got you. But sadly, damn, I don't want to tell y'all guys this, but once you leave, Bosco doesn't come with you. As you leave, he salutes you, then he's just a robot, but man, it's sad, man. I wonder what I should do to get over this pain. I know. Introducing the Abyss Bar. Really and truly the fun times for dwarves. This is really where you get so drunk you just start teleporting and all other weird shenanigans, all whilst dancing with your fellow dwarf degenerates then passing out shortly afterwards. But now, in my opinion, the best feature in this game has to be the battle pass. It blows everything out the water. Why? Because it's 100% free. It's perfect for broke college students like me who can't spare nothing for change. It shows they value the consumer unlike other money-hungry franchises. This shows they really care. This is going to be the end of the video. Next game review is going to be in 10 days, and always make sure you rock and stone.